Chapter 1. What is natural law? Natural law is the body of universal, non-man-made, binding, and immutable laws which act as the governing dynamics for the consequences of human behavior. Natural law came into existence before humans existed. They are basic rules set down for a harmonious living. Natural law boils down to the law of cause and effect. Effect invariably follows cause, in other words, karma, or moral law, as ye sow, so shall ye reap. The golden rule, do unto others as you would have them do unto you. The law of attraction, as you think, feel and act, so shall you be. You are sovereign, and hence must respect the sovereignty of others. The 10 Commandments explain natural law summarized as, do not steal from others, i.e., do not steal their life, their spouse, adultery, their property, and respect the rights of others. It should not be too difficult for any person of average intelligence to acquire a knowledge of at least the outlines of the scheme of evolution. That such knowledge is of the utmost importance will, we think, be conceded by every intelligent individual. We live in this world, governed by the laws of nature. Under these laws, we must live and work, and we are powerless to change them. If we know them and intelligently cooperate with natural law, these natural forces become the most valuable servants. If, on the other hand, we do not understand them, and in our ignorance, work contrary to them, they become the most dangerous enemies capable of terrible destruction. Therefore, the more we know of the working methods of nature, which latter is but the visible symbol of the invisible God, the better able we shall be to take advantage of the opportunities it offers for growth and power, for emancipation from bondage and elevation to master. Max Heindel. The binding principle of the Hermetic principles. The ignorant use of the generative force, care, is primarily responsible for all of the pain, sickness, and sorrow that we experience. Max Heindel. What is meant by a care? What we care about is what we experience. What we do not care about and choose to ignore, willful ignorance, we will experience in a negative form. Willful ignorance. Innocence is not synonymous with virtue. Innocence is the child of ignorance, and cannot be maintained in a universe where the purpose of evolution is the acquisition of wisdom. To attain that end, a knowledge of good and evil, right and wrong is essential, and a choice of action is essential. If having knowledge and choice, man ranges himself on the side of good and right, he cultivates culture and wisdom. If he succumbs to temptation, and does wrong knowingly, he fosters vice. Max Heindel. What does it mean to understand natural law? Understanding natural law means truly having a conscience, which is the definitive knowledge of the objective difference between morally right and wrong behavior. What does it mean to act by natural law? Acting by natural law means exercising conscience, or willfully choosing morally right behavior over morally wrong behavior once the difference is clearly understood. What is the result we get when we live by natural law? When we follow natural law and are therefore moral, we become and remain free, happy, and connected to God, and society exists in a state of order. What are the outcomes of not living by natural law? The ultimate result is chaos and slavery in society. People are allowing evil to run unchecked, and if enough people understood this, then we could put an end to slavery, which is just around the corner for most of humanity. Change is not happening because the underlying causes are not changing how we think, feel, and behave. We are not living in alignment with natural law because most people are ignoring what is going on for the sake of safety and security. We are living the outcome of people ignoring what is going on, and the longer people ignore natural law, the harder it will be to break out of the prison built for us. When we live in opposition to natural law, we become and remain enslaved, and society exists in a state of chaos. The years leading up to and including World War II are an example of how lack of knowledge of natural law has led to tyranny, chaos, and enormous loss of human life. In 1933, Hitler took power in Germany, and before long, the tyranny of the Nazi, phonetically Nazi party became obvious. However, the people had a chance to end the tyranny before the large-scale murder and oppression simply by refusing to follow orders and demanding the removal of the dictatorship of Hitler and the Nazi Party. Who was more culpable for the atrocities during the Nazi dictatorship? The German people, who allowed it to happen, or the Nazi Party leaders, who ordered murder and removal of human rights and dignity? According to natural law, people who allow evil to happen are culpable for evil when they have the power to stop evil. The population of Germany in the mid-1930s was about 70 million. It would only take about 10% of the population to refuse to follow immoral orders to end the tyranny. Following immoral orders out of fear is cowardice, containing the word cow, therefore Nazis are cowards. Doing nothing and allowing evil to run unchecked is also cowardice. The word coward contains the word cow. Cows are stupid and get taken to slaughter. Another example of mass cowardice was in Russia after the revolution. The cowards of Russia not only allowed the genocides and atrocities to occur, but were active participants. As a result, they were slaughtered in their tens of millions in Stalinist USSR. Ignorance of natural law is not an excuse. Natural law operates as flawlessly as the law of gravity, regardless of a person's belief or ignorance. What people believe is irrelevant. Does gravity care if someone does not believe in gravity? Natural law does not care if people believe in it or not. People want to believe they are doing good, but the good people of Nazi Germany were culpable of atrocities because they followed orders, obeyed unrighteous laws, and did not act while evil ran unchecked. The Nazi leaders were only able to manipulate the mass psychology of a country of 70 million people through very clever techniques of mind control. During the Nuremberg trials, Nazi officers often used the defense that they were just following orders. This defense did not hold, and the Nazis were put to death for crimes against humanity. One cannot claim ignorance of natural law as an excuse, nor can one try and pass responsibility for their crimes onto their superior, who ordered the crime. Natural law also applies to the perpetrator, the ignorant, and the order follower alike. Those who are actively breaking natural law are the most culpable. Those who give orders to others for them to break natural law are culpable, but not to the same extent as the person committing the crime. Those who passively acquiesce when they could have done something to stop the violence are also culpable. All people are connected at a higher level. What we do to others, we do to ourselves. If you are planning on interfering with the sovereignty of others, then you had better dig 2 graves, one for your victim and one for yourself. Why is natural law not common knowledge? Knowledge of natural law would enable people to be free. For this reason, those in occult orders wish to hide natural law. Deliberately hiding knowledge is a technique to create and maintain a power differential between those who hold it and those who are ignorant of it. Natural law is easy to understand and should be taught to children at an early age as part of the school curriculum. Humanity is in a state of mass ignorance. People want to remain so and continue to shirk personal responsibility, which means people are choosing to ignore easily available information. People are choosing to ignore information primarily because of ego and fear. When the ego gets involved, people cannot admit that they were wrong, and they can't admit that they are part of a system that is creating more harm than good. People refuse to look at additional information that will shed light on one's environment out of ego. The way that people will be forced to learn about natural law and take responsibility for their situation in life is through suffering. Suffering is coming because people are refusing to take responsibility. This period of suffering will be deserved, because the laws of nature are unfailing, they operate unceasingly and flawlessly. Occultism hides 2 main bodies of knowledge. The minor or lesser arcana, which is the microcosmic inner world. This is knowledge of the self, the human psyche and how it operates. The major or great arcana, which is knowledge of natural law, universal moral law, and the physical sciences. What is truth? Truth is objective, meaning not based on the perceptions or interpretations of human beings. Truth is unwavering and immutable. Truth is that which has occurred in the past and that which is occurring in the present. Truth is singular, meaning there is no such thing as my truth or his or her truth. There is only one truth, only one way that things are, which exists separately and independently from human perception. Perception is not truth, but the path to awakening is to align perceptions with truth. What is magic? Magic is causing change to occur under will. Will with a capital W is the will of the Creator, which is to evolve consciousness and advance freedom. Therefore, sorcery, negative magic, is the art and science of influencing change in the world to occur in accordance with the will, lowercase w, and mind control is the vehicle of sorcery. This is the ego-driven will of the practitioner of this form of influence. Therefore, sorcery is not creation's, God's, that will be done, but the selfish, egotistical will of the practitioner of this form of lesser fallen magic that the practitioner is attempting to accomplish. What is the consequence of a lack of knowledge of natural law? Humanity has not made much spiritual progress over millennia, and people continue to harm themselves and others, wars that are still being fought because of a lack of knowledge of natural law. Natural law is in effect for our betterment, spiritual growth, and development, so we can become conscious co-creators with God. Until we become conscious of natural law, we will remain in a mental state of imprisonment.